Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome. Hope all is enjoying the TES conference so far. We're just getting started. So wanted to jump in, and you read the title already, is franchising going to completely disrupt the marketing world? Well, I'm here to tell you that I think it's bound to happen. And just to give you a little background, I'm founder, CEO of Hite Digital. We're one of the fastest growing agencies right now in the US. I think we're on track to be in the top 500 to 1,000 on the 5,000 list this year. We got several hundred clients. We're up to about 110 or so team members in just 3 years. And this is after exiting one of the fastest growing agencies in the US. We were in the top 400 on the 5,000 list, about 350 employees. And so I know a little bit through tons of failure and a little bit of success on how to grow and scale an agency. And so what's this about franchising? How is it gonna disrupt us? Well, if we start down, let's start with how agencies scale today, especially micro agencies. I think there's really 4 core pillars to growing and scaling an agency. So on one side you have fulfillment, right? You have to have great, high quality fulfillment, high quality product. And a lot of agencies, as they get started, as they're starting to scale, they're outsourcing a lot of that. They're using white label platforms. They're finding VAs. They're looking all around the world of where can I get the most efficient, effective, but also most affordable product people possible, right? And so you have this fulfillment. White label VAs is a big thing people are doing right now. And then you have operations and technology. And so as I'm getting started, how do I create amazing systems and technology? Right now at Hite, we're fully built on Salesforce. We also use a little bit of HubSpot for marketing, but how do we build and scale technology platforms that help us to really grow efficiently in our marketing agency as we're serving 5 clients to 10 clients to 100 clients and even getting up to 1,000 clients. What does this look like? And so we've got our fulfillment, we've got operations and systems, and then we have prospecting and sales, right? So in the prospecting and sales, if we have great product, and we have amazing product, and we have great systems, but if we don't have prospecting and sales, what does that look like? How does it work? And then over above all of this is I've got great sales, I can onboard people, I've got decent products, I've got great systems, but do I have the intelligence, the business owner, entrepreneur intelligence to really grow a sustainable agency? One of my biggest wins, I think, in our career, and if you learn much about Hite, we're really big into people and human beings, right? I love the money, and it's exciting, whatever, but one of my most amazing things isn't so much the 5,000 list, but during COVID 2020, where every agency was struggling and hurting, we didn't fire one person, we didn't cut one salary. How do we create a business that's sustainable, right? And so we jump in, right? Because fulfillment, we've got a lot of different issues, right? And so we go into this area. So with white label, VA in-house, we have, lack of trust, right? Like I hired this white label company, but man, I lost a client. So are they doing their job right? Can I trust them? Are they really building systems? And I bring someone in-house, and now it's expensive. How do I navigate these waters? Oh, I have a VA. Well, do I have the capacity to be able to manage that VA, to be able to teach that VA and grow that VA? Do I have the skill set to lead this fulfillment team? And so we have fulfillment, we've got a lot of issues here. And business intelligence, we want to build a foundation that we can scale upon, but unless you've grown an agency to 1,000 people, how do you even know what systems to use? How do you even know how to build those processes? How do you even so on and so forth, right? And so we go down and we've got operations, right? Operations are expensive. Holy cow, operations can be tough. I think most agencies, if you look at the top, 1,000 agencies or 100 agencies, they're investing millions of dollars into their own tech and systems and operations. And how do we create systems that allow us to manage 50, 100, 200 clients, right? And where do we get the staff to do this? And it gets expensive and tough, and again, we get into really difficult logistics. And then prospecting. Prospecting is a matter of economies of scale, right? If, let's say, most agencies out here, we struggle. We've got maybe $1,500 budget, maybe $2,000 budget, especially in the micro agency world, right? And we'll define micro as under under 30 clients. If you have under 30 clients, if you're doing less than 50,000 in revenue, probably you have 1, 2, 3 team members or so. Let's call that a micro agency. Your budget is maybe 1,500, maybe 2K. Well, what all can you do with prospecting here? You maybe LinkedIn, maybe you hire a telemarketer, maybe you do Facebook ads, but you're very limited, right? We're very limited on how we can really grow the opportunities of prospecting. And so what's the solution? How are these agencies, how do we become more efficient? I'm in many Facebook groups and we're all in these groups and there's definitely people winning, but there's also a lot of people falling short. There's also a lot of people really struggling with how do I grow a business that I can take care of my family, that I can send to my kids to college, that I can depend on 10 years from now, 20 years from now, right? What's the solution? Well, I want to bring your attention to another industry that I think is very similar to the digital marketing space, and that is real estate. Real estate. Think about it. If you look back, and we have audiences from all around the world here, but in the US and most parts of the world, if you look back 35 years ago, all realtors were independent. They all did their own thing. You didn't need a college degree. You didn't need any types of certificate or anything. You could go, and as long as you could communicate really well, as long as you hustled, as long as you did the work, you could do really, really well in real estate. In fact, really. In fact, if you think about it, real estate, a lot of times most of the time, you're not selling your properties, you're selling someone else's property. Well, it's the same way. In marketing, a lot of times you're white labeling the work, right? And there's a lot of similarities to the industry. And then there came along Art Bartlett, I believe was his name. Art Bartlett came along with Century 21, and he said, look, we got thousands and thousands of realtors, and every one of us we have our own website and we're doing our own operations, and each one of us have our own micro budget when it comes to marketing, and each one of us what if we just came together? I mean, we stayed independent, right? We all each owned our individual business, but we built one website. I mean, it was the best freaking website we could think of. And we all put our marketing funds to build one huge brand that everyone knew. And we came together and we built one technology that was better than any one of us could build, but was actually more affordable because we all put in together. What would it look like for us to come together to build something greater than we could separate? But keep our individuality. Keep our individuality when it comes to service, when it comes to talking to our clients, when it comes to interacting in business and building partnerships and relationships. When it comes to owning your business, how do we create this symbiotic relationship? And as we all know, Century 21 founded this idea of franchising the real estate. What ended up happening is not only did they end up growing at a ridiculously fast rate, it was also impossible to compete with them because they had better resources, they had better systems, better technology, a bigger network, they had better branding, and they had local agents all around the world able to serve their clients really well. It gave them this unfair advantage, and so the question mark comes into, what does this look like in the digital marketing world? What is next? Guys, and I believe that we're in a world where digital marketing is going to be completely transferred into a franchise or big corporate world. I think it's going to be 5 years from now the only way we're going to be able to compete. I think in terms of regulation, like what does it look like? If you think about digital marketing, think about marketing as a whole, it's the only industry you can think of, the only industry where you give someone money. You give someone money expecting an ROI, expecting a return on your investment that has zero regulations. What does this look like when the government starts regulating digital marketing? Now, I hope it doesn't happen anytime soon. I hope it happens very long in the future. I hope it never happens. But as digital marketers, we should be prepared for how are we going to fight these systems? How are we going to get prepared? How are we going to navigate these waters, right? How are we going to band together to make ourselves more sustainable, more stable when it comes to building a business? You see, we can increase our buying power. We can stabilize each other, guys. We can come together as one, and ultimately, we can build a model that creates incredible, and I'm going to keep repeating it, incredible sustainability, stability in the marketplace. So what does this look like, right? We got prospecting. We all put in our funds together and we make one big brand. So now you look at economies of scale. One of my favorite entrepreneurs in the U.S. is Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey has an amazing company called Ramsey Solutions. They're a huge company. They have books, they have podcasts, they have thousands. I think they have like 400,000 downloads a week on their podcast. And if you were a small agency and you went to Dave Ramsey and you're like, hey, look, I want to sponsor the podcast, it's going to cost you a lot of money to do. But here at Hite, we were able to go to them and get this partnership. And yeah, it was expensive, but our cost per lead, and I'm going to share this with you guys, our cost per lead is $75 per appointment with them. $75. Again, it's economies of scale. We're investing a lot of money, but we're playing in a field where there's not a lot of competition. Therefore, the cost per actual appointment, cost per actual lead is dramatically cheaper. We're looking at $75 per phone call. And guys, that's a referral lead. This isn't Facebook ads. This isn't going out. This is inbound leads. You look at business intelligence, right? How do we create a community where everyone comes together and we're sharing ideas and knowledge? We have one technology, and I'll come back to that. We have one technology, but we're getting all this data. So we're seeing like, man, Brad over there, he's doing it this way, and Caleb's doing it this way, and these other 20 people are over here, and these other 30. But we start to see trends on what's working and what's not, and we can relay that to the bigger group. We can compete with our competition in a way that no one has ever been able to compete. We have a localized service, someone right there that could serve your clients, but on the back end, we've got this huge fulfillment operations that has QA and systems behind it, and training and development and constant improvement of the processes. We have branding, right along with prospecting. How do we build a brand that's more noticeable, that goes out and we get more clients from it? We have fulfillment, right? What does it look like to go from, I've got one guy, two guys doing PPC, that now 30 guys are doing pay-per-click? We all have issues when it comes to a product where, man, I cannot figure out this account. Man, I cannot get this site to rank. Or, man, my Facebook ads. The more people we have on deck, the more people we can bring together, the easier it is to find solutions to each and every one of our issues. Ultimately, the franchise is everything you need to scale. And it gets better because in a franchise model, we actually can't fail you. You see, when a franchise model, if you came to me and you're like, hey, JC, I'm interested in the Hite franchise. I really want to get to know you guys. I have to, by law, disclose everything. And there's a full disclosure. In fact, you get an FDD, franchise disclosure document. This is by law. You have to receive this. In fact, you have to have it 2 weeks before we could even do anything together. And in this franchise document, I have to do a couple of things, but one of the most important things is I have to give you my average results, my best results, my median results, as well as my lowest results, my worst results, which means when I look at, and I have to disclose, I go, hey, look, here's my franchises. Here's the best one. It makes this much money. And oh, by the way, here's the worst one. It makes this much money. Which means that it's not only you fighting, I have to make sure that you do really, really well. I got to make sure that if you're joining us or you're joining any franchise, that you're going to be the right fit and you're going to be one of those that grow. Because if you fail, all of a sudden we have to disclose it forevermore. Forevermore, we have to disclose that, man, Brad, he gave up. He filed bankruptcy. And so when you look at my next FDD, it's going to show that, man, we got 10 agencies on our franchise program and 3 of them went bankrupt. I can never sell again. You see, in the franchise world, the franchisor has a very big interest in making sure that you're successful, in making sure that you're having every line of success that you can possibly imagine, financially, with the family, emotionally, all this good stuff. How are we helping our franchises win? Ultimately, here at Hite, we're trying to create the Chick-fil-A of digital marketing. I don't know if everybody in here knows Chick-fil-A, but Chick-fil-A in the U.S. is known for its values. They're a very religious company. Here at Hite, family and faith are our number 1 and number 2 pillars. How do we build an organization, a culture, a group of people that live for more than themselves and focus on family, being good dads, good moms, good brothers and sisters? I believe that if we are honed into our family and honed into our faith, we have a dramatic advantage when it comes to being happy and living life to the fullest. What does it look like for us to become the Chick-fil-A of digital marketing? You have people like Caleb here. Caleb came onto our franchise program. He was already doing about 40,000 in revenue when he came on, but he was working a ridiculous amount of hours. And not only has he grown, but more importantly, he's spending a crap ton of time with his family. In fact, just last week, he came back from a 10-day vacation. He said that he's going to Disney, I think, in 2 weeks with his kids. Like, what does this guy look like? And you have Tatiana Chamorro. Tatiana is amazing. She's actually our franchise owner in Dallas, and she's done incredible things in just 1 year of business. In just 1 year of business. She has a couple of people on her team, and she's reaching, I think she'll end up doing close to like 350,000 in revenue this year. This is her first full year of business, 350,000. We've got an amazing group of people, and there's so many success stories. And I really think, and I want everyone to follow this, I think that over the next 3 to 5 years, there's going to be a huge fundamental change in how agencies grow and scale. And so if you have any questions, any ideas, any thoughts at all, and what does it look like in this franchise model? If you're interested in Hite and like what we have to offer, definitely reach out to me. Hit us up at franchise.hitedigital.com. Hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'm on all the platforms. I look forward to chatting with you, learning with you, and I look forward to having the next conversation.
Thank you so much. Thank you, JC. That was so interesting.
Thank you so much. How are you doing today?
I'm good. You've got an amazing backdrop there behind you.
Oh, yes. We've been very blessed. It's a crazy cool office here. Actually, I'm at our offices in Nicaragua in Central America right now.
Wow, how cool.
Yeah.
Lovely. Wow. And I have a question for you. Obviously, we've all been touched in some way with the whole global pandemic. How has that impacted your business in the last year or so?
Yeah.
If in any way.
At the end of the day, number one, we were super lucky and blessed. In the great scheme of things, one of the most proudest moments we ever had is at Hite. We didn't have one cut salary. We didn't fire one person in 2020. And in fact, we actually grew even though we had about 45% deduction in revenue in March. So just like every agency in the world, we lost. I mean, we just went crazy down, right? But at the end of the day, we were able to pick that up quick. And I think there's several things that made that happen. Number one, like as an organization, we don't have any debt. We don't owe anybody, anything. We have savings, right? But more importantly, this whole idea of franchising, right? Like we have a lot of leaders in their group. It's not just one entrepreneur. It's not just one CEO. We actually have 10, 20 CEOs, all really incredible thinkers. And it allows us this huge strategic advantage when it comes to, okay, how do we get out of this mess? Like, what do we do? How do we make the right decisions? And so with COVID, it to be frank, and I am hesitant to say this because I know a lot of us struggled a lot, but for us, it gave us a lot of courage. You know, we grew, we scaled, and now we feel like we can fight. I give the analogy of like jumping in a boxing ring with Mike Tyson. Did I win? No, like I got the crap beat out of me, but I'm still here. I'm ready to go. And 2021 is looking really, really strong.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love what you say about, having this family bond and this faith outside of work, that it's not just about work, How do you instill that in your employees? How do you manage to have that work-life balance?
Yeah, at Hite, I think I was asked the other day by one of the executives here in actually Central America, and they asked about like how do we prove culture? How do we convince our people that we care? How do we convince them that we really To me, it's not about convincing. Either you care or you don't, and that's okay, right? Like there's some owners that, man, we just want to make money, and that is what it boils down to. And you need to hire people that kind of have that same passion, because then there'll be alignment, right? And so at Hite, we're very clear, like from the recruiting process all the way through, like here's who we are. We're unashamed of it. We're very big into family. We don't it's just a part of who we are. And then within the culture, we really do breed that, right? Like, so we have a nursery right here in our offices. Every single kid at Hite is on scholarship. So from the time they're in pre-K all the way through college, we actually pay for a majority of their schooling. And that's from like day one you work here. And then everything is involved, right? And so any party or event we have at Hite, families are welcome, and we really try to encourage that. And it's funny, it's not that we have like in the job description, you have to be married and have to care about family, but we attract the people that we are typically. And so birds of a feather flock together, I think is a saying we have in the States, right? And so for us, we try to have leaders that really do genuinely care, and then everything else like flows from there. It's not something we're intentional about in terms of like, we're setting up today, okay, how can we trick Romana into thinking that we care about her? We just really do.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I think you can't fake that. That's the sort of thing you either, as you say, have it or you don't have it. You can't pretend. You can't be an actor within that, because people can smell that kind of falseness.
Right. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
100%.
That's really wonderful. Is there anything else that you wanted to add, JC? It was such a great presentation. I don't think there's too much more questions because it was so self-explanatory. So thank you.
No, at the end of the day, I really think that franchising and us coming together is going to be like the new norm, right? Whether it's franchising or partnerships or whatever, it's irrelevant, right? And I do believe, and so I just think as entrepreneurs, we always have to be looking at, what is to come, what is the future, right? The chances of, if you look at the S&P 500, like most of the companies weren't there 25 years ago. Like companies evolve and move. And so we just always have to be looking at what's the next phase, right? And of course, if we can help, I love this stuff. I love agency. I love how, it's the first world that we've lived in where people can make so much money and do so well for their families without education, without pre-context, without like any special thing, right? So I love this stuff. And so any way we can help, definitely check us out, and we can go from there.
That's great. Right. That's wonderful. And they can get in touch with you through the platform maybe as well if they'd like to chat to you one-on-one. But thank you so much, JC. And we'll be back at 4 p.m. for turning YouTube into your most revenue stream. So yes, we're excited for that. And thanks again, JC. Take care.
Have a wonderful day. Ciao.
You too. Bye-bye.
In the past 10 years, Crack Revenue has been working hand in hand with affiliates. We feel blessed to have thousands of brand ambassadors across the world that proudly promote both Crack Revenue and our most profitable brands. Because of this, we want to help them succeed by doing everything we can, from dedicated affiliate managers to 24/7 live chat support, to newsletters and blogs packed with insight and expert advice. We also update our Crack Revenue platform on a monthly basis, providing more tools, more features, and more creative content for affiliates to use. Not only do we want affiliates to follow the whale, but become one as well.